while fitting the model to upgrade the weights, I am taking 10 steps. So here I'm taking 10 epochs. So here, sorry, 100 epochs. So here after taking 100 epochs, so weights will be initialized randomly and through the back propagation, it will upgrade the weights. So based on those updated weights, we will got the accuracy. So final accuracy is we got like 85%. So here it is very much close to 86%. So finally we will got accuracy of 86%. So after getting that accuracy, so here we need to predict the outcome for one specific person's parameter. So here I am specifying person's parameter as use our model to predict the outcome of person who is belongs to the France geography and he has produced credit score of 600. After that, so after having credit score, so here we have gender like male and the age of that specific person is 40 years old and tenure of that person is 300. So we have these features. Based on these features, we need to predict whether that person is exited the bank or stayed in the bank. We need to predict that thing. So to predict that thing, what we need to say? So here we need to say predict method. We need to use predict method which is present in ANN. That is nothing but classifier. So here I am applying all these features. So here I want to transform all these features. So here previously we converted, so we specified this data, that is nothing but Francis belongs to the, so we applied one hot encoder there. How to specify this thing? So here France, Germany, Spain. So France is nothing but 1, Spain, Germany is nothing but 0. So here if you specify this thing 1 comma 0 comma 0 is nothing but that is belongs to the France country. So if you go through the one hot encoder, you will get to know why I specified in this fashion. So after that I am specifying credit score as 600. So here I specified all the parameters. So the probability value. So here there we applied a sigmoid activation function at the output layer, right? So here if the sigmoid function returns the probability above 0.5. So if it returns probability above 5, it will return true. So if it won't return probability above 5 means it is false only. So here it is returning false. So false is nothing but that person is stayed in the bank. So here it is he is not exited the bank. He is stayed in the bank only. So here it is a note. So if you read this note, you will get to know why I performed this thing. So after this, I want to predict the outcome for entire test set. So here I want to observe the result for entire test set. So here it is about that thing. It is a classification problem. We can see the confusion matrix also. So here I am observing the confusion matrix. So if you observe the confusion matrix, so here it is the confusion matrix. So based on this, I want to know the accuracy score. So here 80%, 86% of accuracy I got by doing this project. So thank you. It is about the classification problem. So we will see 2 regression problems by using this artificial neural networks. After that, we will see one more classification problem if time permits. So initially we will see the 2 regression problems. So here we have very basic syntax to one project. After that, for the regression as well as for the classification, we have 3 projects here. So I kept one assignment project also for you. So if you are interested, go through that project. So I will share you the solution for that assignment also. Please keep your microphones in mute mode. Please listen to me. So because of 1 or 2 guys, everyone getting disturbed. So here we need to see the basic project first. So here it is a basic project. So whenever you want to work with the TensorFlow 2.0 version only, this Keras will be supported. So I specified some description regarding that thing. So after that, what we need to do, we need to import the pandas to read the CSV file. So here for this project, for fake underscore rich.csv, it is not present in the same working directory. That's why I copied the file path. So here I copied this file path. After copying this file path, I want to see this basic data. So here it is the basic information. In this we have price and feature 1 and feature 2. So based on this, so here it is the fake data only. So I randomly created one data set. Based on the data set, I am performing different operations here to make you understand the regression by using deep learning. So here what I am doing, so here I am saying feature 1 as well as feature 2. Based on these two features, we need to predict the price. So here to understand this thing, here I am performing exploratory data visualization. As you already aware of this exploratory data visualization, by using Seaborn library, I am performing exploratory data visualization. How this one feature is depending on another feature. So for that purpose, here I am performing exploratory data visualization. So after performing this exploratory data visualization, what we need to do? We need to split our data set in the form of training and test set. So here I am splitting our data set in the form of training and test set. So here in our from based on our data set, what we need to say? We need to specify column names directly. Here I'm specifying column names directly. Here I'm saying feature 1 and feature 2. I want to consider feature 1 and feature 2 as inputs. I want to say feature 1 and feature 2 are the inputs, and price is my output column. So here price is a continuous value that is our problem is a which problem? Regression problem. So here we splitted our data set in the form of training and test set. Here I'm specifying test size as 30%. After that, I want to see the dimensionality of data. So here it returns 700 rows. So here I have 700 rows in my data set, and I have 2 columns in the training data. For the test data also, I want to do same thing. So here that means in our entire data set, we have 1000 samples. Out of 1000 samples, we specified 70% data. That is nothing but 700 samples for training the machine and 300 samples to test the outcome. So after that, I want to see the output shape. So here, if you see the output shape, here it is a one-dimensional array only. That's why it returns 700 rows. Comma is nothing but by default number of columns as 1 only. So here test shape, sorry, here it is about knowing the shape of that. So here previously we applied the standard scalar, right? So here I want to apply min-max scalar. Here on my data set, I want to apply min-max scalar. Whenever you apply the min-max scalar, so here each and every feature will be converted in the range of 0 to 1 scale. So each and every feature will be converted in the range of 0 to 1 range only. So for that purpose, here I'm using min-max scalar, which is present in the pre-processing module. And I want to know about min-max scalar. So for that purpose, here I'm asking help about min-max scalar. Whenever you enter this thing, it will return the complete description regarding that thing, and it will return all the parameters present in it, and it will return basic program also if it is there. So here it will return example program also how it works. So by using this thing, you will get to know how this min-max scalar will work. So it will convert each and every feature in the range of 0 to 1. So here I'm applying this thing min-max scalar. So after this, I want to fit our entire data to this min-max scalar. So I want to convert our entire training data in the form of 0 to 1 form. So we need to convert all the features in the form of 0 to 1 range. For that purpose, here I'm fit transform the data of training data, and directly I'm transforming the testing data. So here we are working with the TensorFlow 2.0 above version. So previously we saw the version also. We have 2.1.0 version. So whereas, so if you want to work with the Keras, we need to have 2.0 above version only. So here I'm importing TensorFlow initially. After importing TensorFlow, we need to import the sequential model to construct an artificial neural network. So here we are importing the sequential model from the TensorFlow. At the TensorFlow backend, we are using Keras. From the Keras, we have models. In the models, we have sequential model. So here, to know the help of sequential model, here it is a very good description. So if you read this thing, you can easily understand what is the sequential layer and what is the purpose of this layer and what we can do by using the sequential layer. So here it is a very good description. So you need not to go to the any website to search regarding this thing also. Here is specified everything regarding the sequential. So till now, remember like, so sequential is the layer which is used to initialize any artificial neural network. Whenever you want to construct any artificial neuron or neural network, we need to use sequential method. So after this, we need to create a model. So here we need to create a model. So here, what are the parameters we need to consider? We need to consider the sequential model. After that, we need to import the dense model, and we need to use activation function. So from the layers, we need to use dense layer as well as activation layer. And from the models, we are using sequential model. So here I'm importing the essential libraries from the TensorFlow module. So after that, we can import these modules in two different ways. One is in the one sequential layer itself, we can specify the different layers, or we can specify those things separately. So whereas better to go with this separate initialization of each and every hidden layer. So here, I'm not suggesting you to use this way. Here, whenever you want to initialize any hidden layer, better to go with this method. It is a very good method. So here I'm saying this thing. So here I'm adding. So here I want to add two hidden layers. So whenever you want to add any layer in the algorithm, what we need to use? We need to use dense function. In the dense function, what I am saying, units equals to 2. So which is nothing but units equals to 2 is nothing but what it means. So here we are taking two hidden neurons. We are taking two hidden layers. So here I want to see the description of this thing. So here I am using Gloret uniform distribution. By default, it will consider Gloret uniform distribution, and bias initializer as by default it will be considered bias unit as 0. And by default, in consider number of inputs as whatever the features we have, that will be considered as number of inputs. Whereas we need to specify outputs. So output is nothing but the next layer size anamata. So here inputs, so units are nothing but it is the output size, that is nothing but next hidden layer size. So here we are specifying size as 2. That means for the next layer also we need to consider two hidden units only. So here I am adding three hidden layers. So sorry, first one is the first hidden layer, second hidden layer, third hidden layer. That means for this example here I'm adding three hidden layers. So to see this thing in the form of graphical manner, so here I'm taking whiteboard. So on this whiteboard, what I'm doing, so here we need to add one bias unit. After this bias unit, we need to add two inputs. So here these are the two inputs. After this, we are adding three hidden layers with the units of 2. So first hidden layer having two inputs only, units, two units only. For the next hidden layer, we have two units. So here we are having two units only. After this, for the third hidden layer also, we have two units only. So here it is a constructed hidden layer there. So here we have full connection between each and everything. I am not drawing that full connection here. So here each and every neuron have full connection with another neuron. I am not drawing that thing completely here. Whereas while initializing that thing, what happens? That thing only I am explaining there. So here what's happening here? We are initializing three hidden layers with the size of two neurons. So after initializing this hidden layer, what we need to say? We need to specify the activation function. So here for each and every hidden layer, we need to specify the activation. So here we did not specify the activation also. So here we need to specify the activations for each and everything. So here I am specifying. So here I'm modifying a little bit. So here I'm adding four hidden neurons. So for each and every layer, I want to add four hidden neurons. And for each and every hidden layer, I want to use ReLU activation function. So here for each and everything, I want to use ReLU activation function. So after this, I want to add one more hidden layer. Sorry, it is an output layer. So here I want to consider only one output neuron. So to predict the outcome, I want to specify only one hidden neuron. So after that, optimizer. So here I am using optimizer as RMS propagation. So the benefit of this RMS propagation is we can uh, we can converge to the global minima in faster manner. So here loss. So here we are using a regression problem. In the regression problem, we have mean squared error, mean absolute error, root mean squared error. So out of all the metrics here, I'm using mean squared error as a last metric. So here I'm running this portion. So here, whenever you run this portion, so here we added three hidden layers with the units size of 4, and we added one output layer. Finally, we need to predict the outcome. So here, how to choose the different. So based on the problems, how to choose the different things. So here I specified those stuff here. Multi-class classification problem. We need to use categorical cross entropy function and consider criteria as an accuracy. Whereas if you are working with the binary classification function, previously we saw this problem. That is, here we need to use binary cross entropy. Whenever you want to use the two categorical data in the output, we need to use binary cross entropy function. So after that, here optimizer, root mean square optimizer only. And so after that, so here whenever you want to, so whenever you work on the regression problem, better to consider mean squared error as a metric. So after that, we need to train our model. We need to train our model. So here to train my machine, so here I'm considering 250 epochs. So here I am specifying 250 epochs. So here I'm not specifying the batch size. By default, it will consider the optimum batch size. So here it will consider batch size as an optimum size. So if you see the help of this thing, or if you enter shift tab, it will return the description regarding this thing. So there in the default parameters, you will consider, you will see the batch size also. So here we are training the machine. So to train the machines, here I'm considering 250 epochs. That is nothing but 250 iterations. So here we have very small amount of data. It processes this entire data in very faster manner. So finally we got loss as in 134. So here, so we might have confusion between, so what is nothing but this mean squared error actually. So here what is nothing but this mean square error actually. You might have that kind of question. So for that, I will explain you the thing in very simple manner. So let us begin. So here it is our data set. So in this data set, what we need to predict? We need to predict this price. So we need to predict this price finally. So here, how much accurately or how much closely we are predicting this outcome. So here we got mean squared error as finally 131. That means, so here if we have value of 461, we will predict plus 130 minus 130. That is nothing but 461 plus 130, which is nothing but 590 minus 130, which is nothing but 360. So here for this output, our model will give output in the range of 360 to 590. So for this 461, it will give output in the range of 360 to 590. That is about mean squared error. So how much closely we are predicting this output? So here it will predict on that specific range for specific value. That is about mean squared error. So here we consider mean squared error and we calculated mean squared error for this thing. So after that, what we need to do? So we need to evaluate our model performance. So here we need to see all the different losses. So here I want to see the model history, how loss will be iterated for 250 iterations. So if you want to see the loss for each and every iteration, you can see that thing. So here you can see the all losses by using history.history attribute. So here from the history, I want to plot the graph. So here for this, I want to plot the graph. So here I want to keep title as training loss per epoch for each and every iteration, how this loss will be varying. So here on the x-axis, I'm plotting the line plot. Here I'm specifying on the x-axis what I want to specify. I want to specify the loss, and on the y-axis, I want to specify the loss value. So here on the x-axis, I want to specify the iteration number. So length of loss is nothing but it returns the iteration number, and y-axis is nothing but actual loss. So here I want to keep title as this thing. So whenever you observe this thing, as number of epochs increasing, so if you are back propagating for much number of times, here it is reducing, that it is nothing but loss. So here we are predicting somewhat close to the actual value. So here we consider metrics as an accuracy. If you want to see the metrics name which we consider, here it is a function. So after that, we need to predict the outcome for the test data. So here we need to evaluate our model performance. So here training score. So here we are predicting 131 plus bond as well as outbound is it is. This is only the outbound. For suppose if you have price of 431, it will predict output in the range of 360 to 590. That it means that is it means. So here after that feature evaluation, further evaluation. So if you want to predict the test data output, here we need to apply predict method. So here these are our predictions. So based on our predictions, if you want to if you want to plot a data frame by using test data as well as our prediction. So here I want to consider, so here it is a test data frame. So I want to consider the data constructed data frame by using test data as well as both the things, predictions as well as training data. Here I want to construct a data frame by using those two columns. So here it is the comparison between model prediction as well as actual value. So here actually we have value of 402 and our model predict like 412, and we have value like 624 and our model predict like 612. That means our model predicting somewhat close to the actual value. That means it is a good model only. So here I'm checking the correlation between different features. It is not a that much necessary stuff. So here it is about additional content. So whenever you want to save this model, to apply this model on the different data, we need to generate one h5 file. So here I generated one h5 file. So here whenever you want to save this model, we need to generate this h5 file from the keras model. So here it is about generating this model. After generating model, directly you can predict the outcome for any sample. So here it is about basic regression problem. So after this, we will see the one more project corresponding to this regression only. So here it is a standard project corresponding to this thing. So here in the project, I want to predict the house prices. So someone might choose this project as this their minor project only. It's a very good project. So here we have these many features. So if you want to know about the data set, so here I specify the link of the Kaggle also. So here here you will get the complete information of this data set. So to avoid that problem to you, here I specified all the features. So here feature column, that means each and every column specified for which purpose and what are the description of each and every column. So here I specified all the description for each and every column. So after that, I am importing all the essential libraries. So after importing the essential libraries, I want to read our data set. So here it is present in different working directory. That's why I specified the entire path. After that, I want to see the top 5 rows. So here, by looking at this data, we are not getting complete idea of this data set. So for that purpose, what we need to do, whenever you won't get the complete idea of the data set while observing at the data, we need to perform exploratory data visualization. So here, initially, I want to check whether there is any null values or not. So here, I'm checking that thing. I don't have any null values in my data frame. So here, I want to describe my data frame. So here, I want to know my properties of my data frame. So here, these are the very simple steps which we already performed these all steps in machine learning itself. So here, I want to know about my data sets. For that purpose, here I'm describing entire data frame, and I want to convert the rows in the form of columns as well as columns in the form of rows. For that purpose, I apply transform function which is present in the pandas. So here I want to consider each and every feature. I want to compare the features. So here, whenever you observe this graph, what we got here. So here, first one, figure size is nothing but dimensionality of this figure. So 12 is to 8. So on the x-axis, I want to consider 12 is to 8. So here I want to plot this box in the range of 12 is to 8 plot. So here I want to predict the price. So here I want to plot the price plot. So in which range it lies. So here mostly price lies in this range 0 to 20,000 lakhs dollars. So here it is the price. So let us assume this is the Indian money only. So here most of the highest prices lies between 0 to 20 lakhs. So here it is about the basic information regarding that thing. So here if we want to see the number of bedrooms corresponding to each and every house. So for that purpose also I am plotting the graph. So if you observe this graph, most of the houses having 3 bedrooms. Most of the houses which we consider, those are having 3 bedrooms. So here I want to compare these two features. First one is the price based on the square feet living. So what is the area which is present inside the home? That is nothing but square feet living. So we are comparing that thing with the price. So how price will be varying based on that feature. So here based on the square feet living also price is varying. Square feet area, that is nothing but house inside area increases, then price also increasing. So here we need to understand that thing by observing this data. So like that, here we performed a lot of exploratory data visualization. So whatever the thing you want to compare, so by performing this exploratory data visualization, you need to understand the behavior of the data. Remember this thing. Whenever you want to understand the behavior of the data, we need to perform exploratory data visualization. How one feature is depending on other feature. For that purpose only, we need to perform this thing. So here, I want to sort my entire data frame based on the price in the descending order. That is nothing but maximum price to minimum price. I want to sort my data frame based on the price in the range of maximum to minimum, and I want to see the top 20 rows only. So here it is the data based on the price. We are sorting our data frame. So here these are their index numbers. So here it is about basic sorting of data frame. After that, so here I'm performing different exploratory data visualization steps. You can easily understand this thing if you go through this. So I will explain you complete deep learning part only. So here till now I did not specify regarding feature engineering from data. So here don't confuse by observing that observing this feature engineering. The purpose of this feature engineering is sorry, here initially we need to run the above portion. Yeah. So here what is the error because whenever no problem. So here I did not know. Yeah, no problem. We will solve that thing later. So we will see the problem. The time is going up. So feature engineering from data. So feature engineering is nothing but so whenever you want to apply the machine learning, if your data are not present in the form of structured manner or organized manner, so to get the best accuracy by applying machine learning algorithm, we need to pre-process the data. We need to convert the data in the form of mathematical manner. So whatever the data machine can understand, we need to convert the data in the form of such manner. So for that purpose, we need to perform feature engineering. So here feature engineering is nothing but to get a optimum accuracy, to get a best outcome by using machine learning algorithm, we need to convert our data set in the form of structured manner. So here that is called as feature engineering. So here in our data set we have date column. So here it is in the initially it is present in the form of string manner. So here string data won't be analyzed by the machine learning algorithm. So here we need to convert the string data in the form of machine understandable manner. So for that purpose, here I'm performing feature engineering on this input data. So after applying this feature engineering techniques, I'm converting the data in the form of machine understandable manner. So here it is about that thing. So here after that, I want to plot group by. So I want to group by months, and I want to observe the mean prices of each and every month. How these are varying. So here in for each and every year we have 12 months. So for the 12 months, prices are varying in this way. Sorry, most of the houses, sorry, by observing this thing, you can observe like, so most of the houses sold in fourth month. So you need to understand that information by observing that data. So after that, year by year, how house prices are increasing. So here, year by year, house prices increasing linearly. So every year, house prices are increasing linearly. So after this, so here it is about viewing the different columns information. Whenever you say df dot columns, it will return the data which is present in the different columns. So after that, zip code. So yeah, here we are removing few columns which are not giving the sufficient information. So to get the best accuracy, we are removing the not necessary columns. Sorry, we are removing the unnecessary columns from our data frame. So after removing the unnecessary columns, so here, finally, what we need to, we pre-process the entire data. After pre-processing that entire data, what we need to say, we need to divide our data set in the form of training and test set. So here, I am specifying entire data set except price column. So except price column, I want to consider all the features for input data, and I want to consider price column as an output column. After that, we need to split our data set in the form of training and test set. We need to split our data set in the form of training and test set. So after that, we need to scale our data. So here again, I am using min-max scalar only. I want to scale each and every feature in the range of 0 to 1 only. So here I'm applying min-max scalar object. After that, I'm fitting and transforming the input data, and I want to transform the test data. So here we transformed that thing. And I want to see the dimensionality of input data as well as test data, training data as well as test data. So here it is we have 19 columns and we have 1 lakh, sorry, how many columns? So how many rows we have? 15,117 columns, sorry, rows data we have in the training. So after that, what we need to do? We need to construct a deep learning model. So here, how to construct a deep learning model? Whenever you want to initialize a deep learning model, we need to use sequential layer. So after that, we need to process the data from one layer to another layer. For that purpose, we need to use dense. After that, we need to activate each and every neuron. For that purpose, we need to use activation. And here initially I'm importing Adam method also. So here I am importing weight initialization measure as an Adam. So here I want to initialize my model. So here for the first input layer, for the first layer. So here I'm not specifying anything. That is nothing but these are the units. That is nothing but size of the next layer. So here we are specifying the size of the output layer. So initially we are adding one layer. So for that we are specifying the 19 units, and we are using activation as a ReLU activation function. Like that we are adding 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. How many layers we are adding? 4 layers only. So after that, what we are doing? We are applying output. We are adding one more layer for the output. So here we are adding one more layer for the output, and we are considering optimizer as a Adam optimizer. So here it is a very good optimizer to initialize the weights and to get to converge to the global minima. It is a very good measure. So here I want to consider it is a regression problem only. I want to consider loss as a mean squared error only. Here also I am considering mean squared error as an parameter. After that, we need to fit our data. So here after that, we need to fit our data to our machine. So for that purpose, here I'm using fit method. In this fit method, I am saying training data as well as, so here X train as well as Y train I am specifying. And here I am specifying batch size as 128. For each and every iteration, I want to consider 128 training samples. After that, I want to iterate from 100 times. Sorry, 400 iterations I want to take to upgrade the weight. So if you upgrade the weights for 400 times, we will get a mean squared error as, so here somewhat close to, so here, so finally we will get mean squared error as this much small value. So here you're not visualizing that thing. So here I will see the history. So if you see the history, you will get the mean square error of that thing. So evaluation of data. So here if you see the metrics, different kinds of metrics, go through this URL. I specified everything in this. So here after this, if you test the test data, what it returns. So here it is about testing data. So whenever you perform the, so after applying min max scalar, so all the features will be converted in the range of 0 to 1, right? So after observing min max scalar, test samples will be look like this. So we need to apply our training, our model to the test data. We need to predict the outcome for the this test data. So if you predict the outcome, so here it is the thing. So y test comma prediction. So here you are calculating the mean absolute error. So whenever you calculate the mean absolute error, it is the thing. So here it will give the result. So with the difference with 1 lakh, sorry, how many ones, twos, so some value. So this much huge error we have. So here it will predict the output with this error. So here these are the mean and mode and different parameters of this house. So if you want to predict the different parameters, you can apply the predict method also. So by specifying the different parameters, you can specify the test samples also to predict the outcome. So here it is about the regression problem. So as I already explained you, one classification model, sorry, one classification problem by using this artificial neural network. So I will forward you all these projects, and I will forward you one assignment project also to you. I will forward you one assignment project also. So here it is a classification project. Go through this thing. So if you got any doubts anywhere, so for each and everything I specified a description clearly. So whenever if you won't get anything, feel free to ask me at any time. So here tomorrow I will explain you the intuition of convolutional neural networks, and I will explain you one project corresponding to convolutional neural network. So after that, in the Wednesday's class, we will discuss regarding OpenCV package. So what are the different operations which you can perform on the OpenCV by using OpenCV? So how to flip the image, how to plot the contour plot, how to detect the specific parts from the image, such kind of things we will discuss in OpenCV. After that, if you are interested, I will explain you one project by using OpenCV. So how to detect the faces of the persons by using different classifiers. I will explain you that project. If you are interested, then only I will explain you that thing. So by Wednesday, I will finish the entire syllabus. And coming to the Monday, so from the Monday onwards, I will explain you the projects to you. So whatever the project chosen by you, so if you won't understand something in the project, so day by day, I will explain the project to 10 members per every day. So every day I will explain the projects to them. So if they explain me in a good manner, I will give good marks to them. So if evaluation sheet is required to you, I will give good marks to them. Don't worry about that thing. So thank you. With this, I am concluding for today. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will discuss the convolutional neural networks.